I'm talking about that mentor that calls you by 11 and 12 in the night and asks you, what are you wearing? Please tell the person you are wearing the whole armor of God. That mentor that is telling you that it is not wrong to sleep with him, that is telling you that it is not a sin, that after you finish doing it, that you are going to ask God for forgiveness. That person is not a mentor, is a tormentor. If David had taken that opportunity to direct their attention to the real hero, because the real hero in this story here is Saul, even though he is not the one that killed Goliath. 5 kind of mentors / spiritual fathers that you should run away from in ministry. If you love yourself and you like your ministry, take what I'm telling you seriously now. Before we proceed, first, I need to understand that the idea of spiritual fathers and mentors is God ordained, and it is strongly indispensable. You need mentors. You need a spiritual father for the music ministry. But as much as it is good to have this kind of people in your life, you would have to understand that you need to be very, very intentional about who mentors you. And in your decision to be intentional, permit me to provide 5 kinds of mentors or spiritual fathers that you should run away from. If you find yourself in any of this category, please ensure that you run away. Let's start. Number 1, the glory takers. There are some persons who are not there to invest in your life. They are just there to take credit, positional credit for what you are becoming. This is the reason why, as a young music minister, when you are growing, it just looks like nobody is caring about you. In pidgin English, you say nobody send you, But when you now blow, in quotes, you will never know that you have the kind of spiritual fathers that will start coming for you. It's that time you know that you have many spiritual fathers that you don't even know about, and many mentors that you don't even know about. Now, this category of people, they are simply glory takers. These people are people who are not in your life to invest in your life. They just want to come and feed off whatever you are becoming. They want to just come and take. How you identify a glory taker is that, let's assume you are doing something worthwhile. You are doing a project. They are not seen anywhere close. They are not getting involved at all. They don't care. They are not getting involved. But then, when it is time to maybe take credit for who you are becoming, you say, my son, this person is my son, this person is my daughter. They are glory takers. Anybody who is not actively involved in your process and the person is calling himself a mentor is a glory taker. You should run away from such kind of person. You are just going to have somebody who answers the name mentor but does not provide the services and value of a mentor. Then the second category of mentors to run away from are sexual perverts. People who are given into sexual immorality. I don't care how anointed they are. I know it's their weakness. We are all weak. It's their weakness. They don't used to use eye and see anything that is on skirt. It's a weakness. But please, why you pray that God should help them? Wrong. That mentor that is telling you that it is not wrong to sleep with him, that is telling you that it is not a sin, that after you finish doing it, that you are going to ask God for forgiveness, that person is not a mentor, is a tormentor. I'm talking about that mentor that calls you by 11 and 12 in the night and asks you, what are you wearing? please tell the person you are wearing the whole armor of God. That one is not a mentor. That person is a tormentor. Please run away. Run away from people who are given to sexual perversion. Mentors, spiritual fathers. Again, I understand that it could be their weakness, right? But you see, there's a way this thing works. It can rub off on you. That's the point. It can rub off on you, and not just on you, to rub off from you to another person while you believe for God to help them, and while you believe for God to strengthen them, and while you pray for them. Please try to find a better ground of covering, because you cannot joke with who speaks over your life. You can't joke with who lays hand on you. You can't joke with who instructs you. You cannot leave that to the mercy of pity. It's his weakness, less pity. You can't leave that to the mercy of condoling things. No. Run away from mentors who don't prioritize purity, mentors who are into some kind of sexual perversions. Now, there are some persons who this is sincerely a weakness. There are some of them who they are not like that, but maybe they made a mistake. They fell into sexual sin, and you got to know of it. Remember, I'm speaking within a context that they are not like that. You have known your mentor for close to 10 years, and for that 10 years, there has been nothing like scandal. You have not heard any rumor. There's nothing like sexual perversion, nothing like sexual immorality around him, and then after that 10 years, it just looks like he fell into sin. Now, if that is the case, the approach is quite different. You can tell that, okay, this person made a mistake, and then this person needs to repent. When that is the case, of course, people like that need their hands to be held strong. Pray for them and strengthen them. And if God still permits you, be around them. They need you more in that time than ever. But the people I'm talking about are those people that drink immorality like water. Those people that have now made it a lifestyle. Those people that no longer have conscience. Those people that have turned every young girl around them into sexual toys. Those people that can now call the name of God and lure young girls, young boys into sexual immorality using cunning devices and fables. Run away from that kind of person. Run away now. As I'm talking to you, run now. Run. Your destiny is important. The next set of mentors to run away from are exploiters. Any mentor that tells you, if you don't give me a certain level of money, you're not a son. That one is not a mentor. That person is a tormentor. That person is not a spiritual father. That person is a spiritual feather. Run away. My dear, but also run. You see, there are people who take every opportunity they have to lead people. They govern their position over them. They use that position to exploit them. And if you're a mentor here and it looks like the people you give more attention to are the people who sow more into your life, people who give you the biggest money, mammon has become the Lord of your heart. You need to treat that virus as quick as possible. You are not going to produce impact in your mentorship to people. You will not. Mentors who exploit you, run away. Some of them come with a lot of cunning device. I carry grace. If you sow into my life now, this will happen to you, this will happen to you. Am I talking against sowing? There's nothing wrong with sowing into your man of God's life. But run away from people who present it in an exploitative manner. I advise that if you have a mentor, a spiritual father, ensure that you honor the person. Ensure that the person receives of your substance. But the context in which I'm talking about now is those people that take the opportunity to exploit you. There are some of them. You will just know them. You will know them with the way they emphasize on money. To them, the only thing that is honor is money. The only thing that is honor is money. The time you make out to serve with them, the time you make out to help them in something, the time you make out to give them a gift is not honor. Until you bring million, that's honor. That person is not a mentor. The person is an exploiter. Run away from such a person. Then, the next set of mentors to run away from is insecure mentors. This set of people, they can be very dangerous in an unsuspecting manner. I've come across a lot of persons who fall in this category. They don't sound insecure. They don't act insecure. They try to use a lot of gimmicks to hide their insecurity, but deep down, they are very, very insecure. They don't give opportunities to people who follow them. If they ever give opportunities, it has to be that it is circumstance that is warranting such. Either they are going to go preach somewhere else, either they are not around. It just has to be on that ground. And then, secondly, it looks like every time you shine, it makes them feel uneasy. Every time you shine, every time you are displaying, your talent, your gift, every time you are doing what God has called you to do, it makes them feel uneasy. These people are insecure. They are insecure mentors. And another thing I'm going to also advise you is, you see, every man has a level of insecurity. Every man is prone to a level of insecurity. And as someone who has a mentor or a spiritual father, you should be wise enough not to trigger the insecurity of your spiritual father or of your mentor. I believe that David could have averted the situation that made Saul become dangerously jealous of him. Because many of you who criticize Saul, if you were in Saul's shoe, you would do worse. Take, for example, did you know that if after David had killed Goliath and the women of Israel began singing that David has killed his tens of thousands and Saul has killed just 1,000, if David had taken it further to give a speech and to tell them how he stood upon the shoulder of Saul to kill the 10,000, how that Saul was a foundation upon which he stood, because if Saul did not give him that opportunity, he would not have experienced that victory. If David had taken that opportunity to direct their attention to the real hero, because the real hero in this story here is Saul, even though he is not the one that killed Goliath. Because how do you explain that a man gave a young boy a chance who was not a military person, gave a young boy a chance who has never followed Israel to war, gave a young teenager a chance? Did you know that the destiny of Israel rested upon that chance? If Goliath had killed David, the Philistines would have enslaved Israel. For a man, a king, to take such risk upon a young boy, that's a huge one. That's a real hero right there. So, I feel like David would have been more cunning in managing the situation, but his inability to manage that situation triggered the insecurity of Saul. You are in a church, your pastor gave you opportunity to preach, and when you step up to preach, you just go on, I feel the power of God here, and you could not even appreciate the person that gave you the opportunity to preach. And then when the members come and say, you preached better than pastor today, you finished work, oh my God, in fact, you accepted the praise rather than letting them know that it was the shoulder upon which you are standing on that helped you deliver in such manner. What I'm trying to say is, as much as every man is prone to a level of insecurity, and as much as you should run away from insecure mentors, you should ensure that you don't trigger the insecurity of the person you are serving under. And another way to ensure you don't trigger the insecurity of the person you are serving under is to consistently show gratitude. When they do something for you, show gratitude. When they give you an opportunity, show gratitude. You're a music minister, your pastor gives you opportunity to minister in church, show gratitude for it. Consistently show gratitude. It lets them know that you are submissive. Gratitude is a language of submission. It shows that you are submitting to the goodwill of the person who did what he did for you. It shows that you are acknowledging it. All right? So ensure that you don't trigger the insecurity of anybody you are serving. But howbeit, there are some persons that you don't even need to do anything to trigger their insecurity. They were born with it. The thing fooled their body. They have not yielded to the Lord enough to work on it. So they want to submit every single person that comes around them. Some of them they quote it under spiritual advice. Wait on God. Don't do this. Don't push here. Don't do this here. Don't do that here. Don't do this here. You are under them. You are rendered useless. You are not doing anything. Now, there are some persons who do it sincerely, and there are some persons who also do it from a place of manipulation. If you notice people who are insincere to this degree or insecure to this degree, I think it's a good time to take a bow. So the next set of mentors to run away from is unintentional mentors. Mentors who are not intentional about your growth. The idea of mentorship is to provide a structure, a system, an atmosphere for you to get better, for you to grow. Some of you have a mentor that from year to year you can't access. You can't call him and he picks your call. Now, I know that mentors are busy, but at least if you've been calling your mentor for a year, you should be able to pick a call. You should be able to pick your call. You know, some of you have people you call your mentors, but you can't see them, you don't assess them. No. Your mentor should be someone that you can reach out to for advice. For me, the way I mentor people is I love to create a system and a structure for training them where I teach them a lot of things. You know, your mentor should be involved in your life. You should have a mentor who is involved in your life. Your mentor should know what your next project is, what you are doing next. And, you know, your mentor should one way or the other be intentional about you. If you have any mentor who is not intentional about you, and by intentional, I mean that the person is not intentional about giving you advice. You know, the person is not intentional about what you're doing next. It's not just involved in your life. You do something, you do something notable, and you can't look back and see him in one way or the other. Let's assume you do a very, very big event, you do something out of the norm, you know, you push further in your endeavor. You can't look back and say, this person I call my mentor, he played this particular role, he was there for me, he called me to pray for me, or he called me to advise me, he linked me up with a certain contact, or he just helped to sponsor a certain thing. You cannot trace any single thing this person did. That person is an unintentional mentor, and it's not going to be productive. I can tell you the truth. God bless you. I hope this greatly blessed you, and I trust it did. Please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, Dear Minstrel Academy, and share this video, drop a comment. God bless you greatly. See you in the next episode.